Welcome to New Money, where each week we explore the most innovative Chinese businesses and entrepreneurs. I'm Zheng Junfeng. Food delivery is no stranger to most Chinese consumers, but today we'll talk about a couple of companies that made food delivery a little bit spicier.
Ho Li Hong is so busy at her office job that ordering food online has become the norm for her meals. To keep her day interesting, she keeps an eye on social media for the latest food delivery trends. Lately, she has become a big fan of Jackie's Crayfish, an online service delivering crayfish of the mala or spicy and numbing flavor.
Their service is convenient because you can order their food from many different platforms. Moreover, the packaging they use is fashionable. Then there are a lot of little details that make you feel like they care. They mostly make mala food, like their mala crayfish, which are delicious. I think they're the most authentic I've ever had.
Jackie's Crayfish was started by a few young enthusiasts of the mala taste in July 2014. Less than a year later, they raised more than 6 million yuan in less than 4 hours during a crowdfunding event arranged by e-commerce giant JD.com. The company does not have any brick-and-mortar stores, but instead sports a 400 square meter central kitchen. It has a monthly turnover of over 2 million yuan, or around $300,000, and repeat purchase rate of over 75%. They sell almost 20 different products divided across the categories of food, snacks, half-cooked food and merchandise. CEO Tian Yu describes his service.
Whether you order online through Baidu, Ele.me, Meituan, our own public account, or by calling our phone number, we can deliver your order within 1.5 hours. We'll provide this O2O service to any destination within Beijing's 5th Ring Road. That's our main business right now. Jackie's Crayfish's main product line is mala seafood. We're taking a traditionally low-end product, such as mala food, and improving it and upgrading it. We're combining this low-end product with seafood to make the average sales per user go 200 yuan and beyond. In this area of Internet Plus, our product is #1.
In the crayfish industry, good raw materials and recipes are key, and many companies spend big money on hiring chefs that can bring special recipes to the table. Tian Yu develops his own recipes for Jackie's Crayfish, which means that his chefs only need to follow his recipes skillfully. This reduces risk and lowers costs. When it comes to raw materials, Tian Yu explains that he prefers to use suppliers in Beijing, rather than hiring people to buy directly from the cheap but faraway breeders in southern China.
We have 6 suppliers in Beijing that specialize in mala seafood and bring us the crayfish from the breeders. This way, each of us can focus on what we're good at. So we don't sign contracts directly with the breeders now, because we believe that any problem that can be solved with money isn't really a problem. We're willing to spend good money to control our profit and to guarantee the quality of our products.
Jackie's Crayfish went from just breaking even in April 2014 to achieving cumulative sales of over 10 million RMB in October 2015, a feat most traditional stores would have had to open several branch stores to achieve. Eating crayfish has become the new hot trend in Beijing's food scene, and Jackie's Crayfish is joined by a host of other entrepreneurs, such as Da Sha Laila and Sha Baby. Currently, more than 600 brick-and-mortar stores and around 200 online stores compete to become the king of the crayfish in Beijing.
Just a reminder, you can use your smartphone to scan the QR code on the bottom of our screen to find the latest and previous episodes of New Money. To begin today's discussion, Professor Liu Baocheng joins me in the studio. He's a professor at the University of International Business and Economics. Welcome to the studio.
Yes.
Professor, let's talk about this case of crawfish. It's using crowdfunding and also O2O, online to offline. So what are the features and advantage of this business financing model?
Well, it is very difficult to get money from the bank for smaller businesses. So previously you used to borrow money from your brothers, now you don't have brothers. So now you got to borrow from strangers. But you need a platform to ensure that the investors in your platform or in your proposal will be rewarded. So therefore, by collecting smaller pennies from those individual investors, doing business is really getting very popular, and now it is also very legitimate. And the unique advantage that those investors will also turn to be customers. So they may like the business, they may like the product you offer, and then they invest into it. So this type of model can also give the startup companies a sort of a new idea, because some startups, they are very stubborn, they believe in one thing and they just go for it without really
listening to the market demand.
Yeah, without really checking the market demand, without collecting the wisdom from other people. So those investors, however small they are, they can really offer you new stimuli and new inspiration in business operation.
Professor, this auto business is provided on the platform of Youhuo. What does set this away? What does set this different from other products or platforms? Because young people love to eat a lot of stuff, right? Why crawfish?
Number one, there is more defined segments in the online market now, simply because they have been mushrooming. So you have to very well define, who are your audience and where are the segments, and you have to use the language of your target audience, and you have to always follow the lifestyle of the young people. So this Youhuo platform is catered to the young people with dynamism and of course with laid back or lazy lifestyle. But
I'd love to try spicy food.
Yeah,
weird food.
Weird food. They are, in marketing, they are innovators. So, so they may be the first one to eat the crab. Back ages ago. So,
I know.
So this platform can also spread a lot more information, a lot of knowledge, and it offers a sort of a guarantee to those customers in the product quality and also in the service quality. And one thing that is very important is really the delivery time.
Right, great, Professor. Okay, we're taking a very short break. We'll take a look at Mala Youhuo's costs when we return. Welcome back. You're watching New Money. Supply chain management is a key in a delivery business. Let's find out how crawfish is delivered.
Jia Qingling works as a delivery boy for the Zhongguan Song branch of Mala Youhuo, a traditional restaurant in Beijing. He's been delivering mala crayfish for over 10 months now and is making good money.
I deliver up to 50 orders each day. The customers are happy with our service, and I feel connected to the company as well. When it comes to my salary, it's pretty good. I'm very happy with my pay.
Jia Qingling is part of Mala Youhuo's now 200-man strong delivery team, which brings crayfish to its customers across the city. One of these customers shares their experience with using the service.
Before, I used to eat at their restaurants all the time. I first heard about their delivery service last year, and now I order from them often. I like it, and the food is very clean. I didn't even know how to tell if a crayfish was clean before I had theirs. They're also very fast and usually deliver within 1 hour. I order from them once a week.
Mala Youhuo is one of the biggest crayfish chain stores in Beijing. Having been in business for 14 years, it now has 30 restaurants and more than 60 delivery centers in the city. In the high season, it sells around 150,000 crayfish every day, making it the most sold crayfish chain in China. Chairman Han Dong explains that in order to secure supply, the company works closely with crayfish breeders.
We buy our crayfish directly from the breeders. By mid-December last year, we had more than 30 buyers connecting with the best breeders. We sign purchase agreements directly with them, which guarantees them a medium to long-term production plan and provides them with some security. It reduces their risk and guarantees them a certain income. One of our breeders rented 165 acres of land in Yunnan to breed crayfish that he'd then sell to us. He was very excited about this because at that time the prices were high, so he had a lot of security. If he hadn't had this kind of sales channel, he wouldn't have dared to do it. But now that we provide this channel, he's willing to take the chance.
Ma La Yo Ho has sourced and sold crayfish for a long time. But now, new mobile app delivery services are forcing it and other traditional restaurants to reform. In order to compete, Ma La Yo Ho has established its own platform and online sales team. In addition, it sells its products on third-party platforms like Baidu and Ele.me. Han Dong explains that these efforts have greatly improved sales.
In 2013, we began putting together a team of driven young people to take care of this area of our business. Currently, delivery makes up roughly 1/5 of all of our sales. This means that about 20%, or maybe a little more, of the 15,000 crayfish we sell are delivered to people's homes, compared to roughly 80% that is sold in our restaurants. However, delivery is growing quickly, and I predict that by July 2016, delivery and restaurant sales will be roughly equal. I say that because delivery barely made an impact in 2014, but has doubled 30 times over in 2015. I believe that delivery sales will exceed restaurant sales in 2016, and that it will grow even more in the future, so it's looking very good indeed.
Many other restaurant chains are following Ma La Yo Ho's example and developing their own platforms and apps. One of the most famous Ma La crayfish restaurants in Beijing, Huajia Yiyuan, opened their own online store in October 2015 and is currently promoting its online ordering service on Weibo.
Professor, I think these Chinese services companies are now paying more attention into services, bringing talented people and bringing a lot of smiles and services to their customers. But this also means higher costs for them, hiring those, cool guys and train them. These all coming costs. How do those companies manage these costs?
Well, those costs, whether it's justifiable or not, the final test is in the hand of the customers. If they're willing to pay for a premium for the increased cost simply because they get more satisfaction out of it. So the number two is that such sort of business, they can really play on scale. If you build chain store and franchise, cost can be shared. And then there are a lot of the low cost or zero cost means that you can communicate with customer. You can utilize the WeChat. You can utilize many other gathering opportunities to spread your words and to have open trial, a free trial. So these are the ones that you can save the cost. So again, customers are the final test whether they like it or not, whether the price suits them.
And they are also the final buyers of these services.
Yeah. And also because they also investors in the meantime for the in this particular case. So therefore, they are there to decide on how they are going to pay the bill based on the investment.
Professor, one difficult thing about catering is that it's difficult to manage every dish, to taste like the same, like the right temperatures and the right quality. So how do Youhuo platform manage different suppliers of crawfish?
Well, from the supply, whether you check on the origin, whether you communicate sufficiently what you really require. So you comply with the law, but in the meantime, you also have business requirements that suppliers will have to follow. And do you offer the right price to the suppliers so that they are willing to comply at a profit with you? So that's something very important, and from the quality control and also to the delivery, because you are also there to receive goods from them. So is the delivery time managed? They are all right, because for the crawfish, the time is very important for the life and then for the freshness of the product. So therefore, there are two levels of management, in this particular issue.
I mean, Professor, it's all good to order online, but how could those companies ensure the quality of their products on delivery?
Well, number one is that do you dare to offer the refund system? No question asked. If the consumers do not like it, they can really get full refund. Or you can also promise that if the quality is bad, and you can really provide triple or double damage to the consumers. And number two is that do you really have the quality inspection system that is more transparent to consumers? You can either have internal auditing, or you can also invite third party or even the official organization to inspect on the quality. And it is not only on a certain point, but the entire process will have to be transparent and traceable, so that consumers can put their heart in the right place. And then, how do you really respond to the customer request and customer complaint in a quickest manner so that they will not lose patience? Because right now the competition is very tough. If you really are not really standing out in service and only emphasize on the product quality, you only win half of the deal.
Right. Okay, thank you, Professor. Now time for another break. When we come back, we'll look at the competition in this market. Welcome back. How is the crawfish delivery development in China? Let's take a look.
In 2015, the catering market in China exceeded 3 trillion RMB, with mala food accounting for 40% of the total. Crayfish is the biggest single category in the market, accounting for 3 to 4% of total revenue. EO is an O2O new media and research platform that focuses on traditional business that go online. EO's chief editor Li Shuang shares some of his findings from a survey he did on the mala crayfish market in Beijing in 2015.
Even though it's a 100 billion yuan market, it still has a lot of potential. Actually, the mala market segment still hasn't seen the appearance of one huge platform, so I'm sure we'll see the emergence of an entity that will catch a large market share. Crayfish companies have another sales advantage, which is that they're capable of viral marketing. Moreover, if people begin to industrialize the process and establish big, central kitchens to produce dishes, the production process will be very easy to standardize. Then these people will be able to produce big batches. One advantage of this is that instead of having to go to the restaurant or having frozen dishes delivered, the users will get warm crayfish delivered to their door. This is a major improvement to this kind of lazy people's economics that allows you to have nice, warm food delivered to your door within 2 hours, 24 hours a day.
While the market is still finding its form in Beijing, this trend is already spreading to the rest of the country, including Shanghai, Guangzhou and Shenzhen. Tian Yu from Jackie's Crayfish is already looking to cash in on the emergence of a mala crayfish culture among the younger generations.
We want to do more than just sell fast-moving consumer goods. Our brand has received approval because it provides high-quality food and services. Now there's even an increasing demand for a unique brand and the mala lifestyle. We're going to start making merchandise and already made the first step on December the 10th, 2015, when we released our first scarf. We made it in cooperation with an independent British designer team, and we hope that merchandise like this not only will have our logo on it, but also represent the Mala culture and attitude. We hope that our brand will become a part of young people's lives and that we can fulfill the demands of a new generation of consumers for a more personalized brand.
Because Mala crayfish has a relatively short history as a marketed product, there's no big clash between traditional restaurants and online delivery services. Rather, online and offline aspects of the business complement each other, as explained by Han Dong.
I believe that physical stores and e-commerce sites will complement each other. Some businesses are rejecting physical stores in favor of e-commerce platforms. Personally, I think that we should take a broader view. If there were no physical stores, there wouldn't be an opening into e-commerce. In the same way, the cost composition of e-commerce will decrease the cost of running physical stores. So I think that these two channels benefit from each other. I believe that O2O e-commerce has only just begun developing, so we have developed around 90 products for our O2O platform. Right now, we're only selling around a dozen of them, but we will release the others slowly to increase the number of products on our platform. Following this model, the two will be like two legs, working well together. That's how I look at it.
It seems likely that traditional businesses will do more and more business online, while online businesses will do more and more business offline, merging the two forms of sales. The ones who will benefit the most from this battle for crayfish market shares are the consumers.
Professor, I see crawfish restaurants right at the corner of my living complex. There are so many places that can cook crawfish. I mean, this entering barrier is pretty low. How can Jackie's crawfish stand above them and stay competitive?
Well, I read some of the plan, and I see that they have the ambition to expand to almost 90 of similar dishes that can be offered. Well, this is too ambitious. I think they need to have a focus, because right now the homogeneity is really the biggest enemy to do business and to win competition. So number two is that they remain highly interactive with all the customers, so that they feel they are part of the community and they're part of the family members. And so this can be achieved. And the other is that they continue to expand their business based on the low cost of money. Of course, they reduce the cost in the meantime, but they are also able to spend all the pennies that is more accountable. And then to do franchise. So if they build the right type of reputation, when they have a premium quality, even if that means a slightly higher level of investment, they can also build a chain store and franchise with the right menu, with the right logo, and with the right management. So lastly, I can think for any service, people are the best differentiators. You invest into people, you select the right people, and they will help you to win the business.
Great. I mean, Professor, crawfish is a very unique type of cuisine, but consumers tend to frequently eat crawfish. Do you have concerns of health problems, and is there any regulatory risks in this?
Actually, compliance is the bottom line. There is tightened regulation in all the food industry, both in China and abroad. So, how to comply with all the requirements based on your understanding of the objective of the legislation is very important, and to cooperate with inspectors from the government agency are also very important. But on top of the compliance, you also see big opportunities to sharpen your competitive advantage. We see that both in the home and abroad, there is tightened regulation over the food safety issue. And right now, I think business view it with a mixed feeling, and some say, well, when you raise the threshold, and it is very difficult to step up with. But the way I see it is that it is really a winning opportunity for the best performers. So the QA and the QC are also very important to assure customers that I have the right two kids, I have the right process, and also I have the right knowledge to ensure the quality is guaranteed. And of course, you also learn how to promote and communicate with customer that you are the responsible business.
Professor, to yourself, have you personally ordered crawfish and have it delivered to your place? Do you think there's a great future in this business?
I didn't, but I was invited a number of times to eat out of the crawfish. It's really tasty because there are so many ways of cooking it, and the service varies though. I think, the future is humongous because number one, for the food industry, we estimate is 2.5 trillion markets. To have a slight share in this big pie is already big enough, and it's very encouraging. And plus, the internet will continue to bring new wonders to this business. And right now, particularly now, the centralized kitchen system is on a high agenda for transforming this industry. So you do not really have to spread into so many shops, hiring so many chefs, and you have centralized purchase, centralized cooking, and centralized delivery system. And now they can also work with many other platforms. So APPs are abundant. Even Didi and the taxi hailing system can also join the bandwagon to jack up this business. But the only danger is that if there is a food safety scandal, the business is ruined.
Great, thank you, Professor. Always a pleasure having you with us.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you. Building brand equity is key to success in the special food delivery business. The sector is still young, but with healthy regulation and efficient supply chain management, the business can surely satisfy Chinese consumers' spicy taste buds for a long time. Once again, if you have an interesting business case to tell, make sure to email us at newmoney@cctv.com. That's newmoney@cctv.com. Thanks for joining us this week on New Money. I'm Zhen Yufeng. We'll see you again next week.